It was one of those beautifully warm and sunny afternoons in southern Florida in the middle of February. I happened to be there for a couple of days of ministry, and a few hours in between responsibilities, I went out to my usual 3-mile run. As I was coming to the conclusion, I noticed a building in this residential area where a good many people were going in and out, and the parking lot was filled with buses and automobiles. And I wondered just what the interest would be in an area such as this. So as I slowed down to a walk and approached the building, I noticed a sign that said, "The Home and Workshop of Thomas Alva Edison." And I thought, surely this is Fort Myers, and that's where he lived. And it occurred to me one of the famous sayings of Thomas Edison, after his assistant told him that they had made 25,000 mistakes in the course of their work. He said, "Not mistakes. We've found out what doesn't work." I welcome you to Nightsounds. I'm Bill Pearce. And I'm wondering whether any of you listening tonight have made any big mistakes lately, or wiped out, or just blown the whole thing. Well, let's not call it a failure, but you've discovered something that won't work. So, now, what do we do? Well, I have a good suggestion here, and it's voiced by Dave Boyer with the Ralph Carmichael Big Band. We've played it before, but I think we need to say it one more time.
Try again. So you've fallen down this time. Try again. Take a look at where you've come from, where you've been. You're different now. God has changed you somehow. You know it's true. Try again. Don't let failure get the best of you. Try again. God will help you do what you must do to win. To smile, to grin, but you will never really know until you try again. You know a lot more now, 'cause you've been through a lot. A stranger to pain you are not. You say the road's been rough. You are part to blame. But you're not finished yet. No, you're not through. God sees so much good in you. Leave yesterday behind and then try again. Try again. It won't turn out like before, so try again. Don't quit now, come on once more. This is your chance. You've got to take to break away from your mistakes. Try again. Though the odds may be against you, try again. And just let hope convince you you can do it. You can win, friend, you will win. If you only try again.
Dave Boyer opening our program tonight. Try again. And I've decided to entitle our time together One More Time. That's all it may take. In the recording work that we find ourselves in, these various record sessions, often we have to stop right in the middle of a production for what they call take 2 or take 4 or 5. In fact, I almost titled our time together tonight Take 7 because I understand 7 is the number of perfection, and that should be the one that we can wrap. There's nothing new about failure. The greatest and least among us have been a part of that. Often failure will cause despair, depression. There's nothing new about those either. In fact, the psalmist David, the prophet Jonah, and of course the long-suffering Job, probably were the most notably depressed writers in the Bible. And even Paul felt depression at being locked up in a prison cell rather than out preaching on a street corner somewhere. Maybe he was even irritated at having to defend himself against false teachers constantly, having to prove he was dedicated to the cause of the gospel. Even his own compatriots questioned him sometimes. Maybe his gospel seemed too easy because he came on with his grace message. No more under the law, the Mosaic restrictions. We are now under the umbrella of the grace of God. Peter fought him pretty hard, too, on that. And tonight, as we look at history, I just mentioned a moment ago Tom Edison. Not only him, but, my goodness, Winston Churchill. Depression and failure, he called it his black dog. Most of you have heard about Abe Lincoln. He was no stranger to the feeling of depression or failure. In fact, someone once summed up his road to the White House, quote, failed in business in 1831, defeated for legislature in 1832, second failure in business 1833, suffered nervous breakdown in 36, defeated for House Speaker in 1838, defeated for elector in 1840, defeated for Congress in 1843, defeated for Congress in 1848, defeated for the Senate in 1855, defeated for Vice President 1856, defeated for Senate in 1858. So what was the bottom line of all of this failure? Elected president in 1860. Alexander Graham Bell, unable to sell his telephone to Western Union. Chester Carlson's idea of Xerox copying was rejected by several major corporations before it sparked the growth of the Xerox Corporation. Computers originally left Tom Watson, head of IBM, nonplussed about their usefulness, and he reportedly estimated the world market for them to be about 5 buyers. And if we look further, a survey by Dun & Bradstreet Corporation revealed that 60,432 businesses failed in the United States in 1990. And that trend continued in 1991 and 92. So others may be wrong in the way they react to our ideas and efforts, but today's failures just well may be tomorrow's biggest success stories. Meanwhile, disappointment is a part of the process. Disappointment is part of the human condition that helps in a very dramatic way to highlight times of satisfaction for a job well done. How many times I've been so grateful in the modern recording techniques for the ability to intercut. You may do a beautiful job all the way up to the ending, and you may fail miserably on the last note, fall off it completely. What the engineer can do at this point is to backtrack, find out where the wipeout came, and do what we call punching in. So subtle you could never tell it. Levels all the same, no popping on the entrance. Just go a little bit ahead of where you made the mistake so we can cut in here. And you may try it 2 or 3 times, and finally on that 4th time you get it letter perfect. That's the take. And we put it together, you'll never know the difference. At least the public won't, but you will. How many times you tried. Tonight's program, entitled One More Time. You may never know how close you were to success when you quit. Tonight's music on Nightsounds is going to be not too animated, but very pleasantly buoyant. Dave Boyer just sang a very inspiring song called Try Again. That very important word, again, appears also in our next song. It's sung by the Cathedrals Quartet. Pay attention to the bass singer here. I'd like to say it again.
I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. It's been talked about and it's been sung about down through history. There's power in the blood of the Lamb who died to set men free. The greatest story that's ever been told, God's great gift to man. I've been washed in this precious blood, and I want to say it again. I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. There's a healing balm in Gilead. Oh, and it's the crimson flow. It is the crimson flow. Coming down from Calvary. Coming down from Calvary. Washes white as snow. Washes whiter than snow. Sinner, if you'll come to the Lord. Sinner, if you will come. He will save you from sin. He will save you from sin. It'll bring you joy like you've never known. It will bring you joy like you've never known. And you'll want to say it again. You'll want to say it again. I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again. Jesus' blood has cleansed me from sin. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. I know it's been said many times before, but I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again. I'd like to say it again.
The Cathedrals Quartet, very distinctively singing one of their songs, I'd like to say it again. And this again feature tonight gives us hope that we can try again. We can do a take two. We can be involved in an intercut. Now, these words are jargon in recording industry for another chance, another opportunity. I was just reading a rather fascinating account of one of the great artists of the past, Vincent van Gogh. He made a discovery with a change of goals. He came to his art in only the final 10 years of his life. He tried and failed at selling art and school teaching and even at preaching, where the evangelical authorities dismissed him for his excessive zeal in helping Belgian coal miners. His brother supported him in all of his life because he sold only one picture for 5 francs. In the final 3 months of his life, Van Gogh was still experimenting, striving toward his ideal. He painted 12 pictures in a new format called the double square. And after lifelong bouts with mental illness and despair over his failures, he finally took his own life. In 1990, his painting Portrait of Dr. Gachet sold for a staggering $82.5 million. Well, this really points to the bottom line here, and the culmination and goal of our commentary and music tonight, that God alone, not money or bosses or new ideas or our tenacity or our expertise or hard work, controls our destiny. He alone, perfect trust and love of our Creator, casts out fear. Someone said failure is only failure when we fail to learn from our experiences. Proverbs 24, verse 10. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. And again the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 23. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. Proverbs 28:13. He who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Joshua chapter 23, verse 14. These words. And now I am about to go the way of all the earth. And you know in your hearts and souls, all of you, that not one thing has failed of all the good things that the Lord your God promised concerning you. All have come to pass for you. Not one of them has failed. Joshua 23:14 in the Bible. Just a few moments before coming into my studio tonight, I gathered the staff, just a few of us of Nightsounds, because that's all there are of us, just a few. I think there were 4 or 5, and there are some volunteers who come in certain days of the week, but this was the staff of Nightsounds plus 1 volunteer. One of them had a remarkable story of tenacity, almost to the point of desperation, until this very beautiful thing happened. And it was all a part of the journey of prayer and faith. We wondered if God would ever work. And the thrust of our morning's prayer session was, do not give up. He is there. And He takes such a long time in our thinking to accomplish what we would have wanted done in a much shorter time. But His product is much better. And He's teaching us patience en route. And we're learning other lessons. We're going deeper into our faith for Him. So, better things are on their way. And if you fail, and if the Lord doesn't heal, and you experience what you might call unanswered prayer, ask Him what He wants you to learn through all of this. Because we are all in a very definite learning process. This could be the dawning of that new and beautiful day. fading out into the distance there, the Paul Johnson Chorale, with a reminder that this could be the dawning of the day of Christ's return. Tomorrow it could happen. A very essential businessman, part of the Nightsounds team, an accountant, said to me the other day, you know, we don't really know when Christ will return, but we've got to plan sensibly. God is a God of order. The Bible tells us this. And that order often includes the causes and effects of our failures. If we're talking about financial failure, we may not have heeded God's warning that the wise person cheerfully gives. If we're talking about failure as a Christian business person standing against immorality, we may not have studied the Word of God and taken its principles seriously enough to make the tough but morally right decisions. Tonight, maybe you're trying to do it on your own. All of your expertise has been garnered. You've tried everything you know, and you're not making it. The alternative to what you're up to that's not working tonight, I believe, in essence, is held right here in this message.
There are days I know when you get so discouraged it seems that all hope is gone. But there's one, only one, who can give you courage and strength to carry on. Never give up, Jesus is coming. It's the darkest just before dawn. Never give up, Jesus is coming. Never give up. Keep holding on. This the world I know can't last much longer, and sin will soon pass away. But my faith in God keeps growing stronger, for Jesus is coming someday. Never give up, Jesus is coming. It's the darkest just before dawn. Never give up, Jesus is coming. Never give up. Keep holding on.
As we come to the concluding few moments of our program tonight, at the outset of our time together, if you may recall, I mentioned David as a very well-known failure. He said, "My heart throbs, my strength fails me. As for the light of my eyes, it has also gone from me. My friends and companions stood aloof from my affliction, and my neighbors stand afar off." He also said, "Answer me speedily, O Lord. My spirit fails. Do not hide your face from me, lest I be like those who go down to the pit. Cause me to hear your loving kindness in the morning, for in you do I trust. Cause me to know the way in which I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto you." Thank you, Heavenly Father, for the opportunity of trying again. You haven't struck us out. You've said, "Come to me. I'll never leave you or forsake you." So don't give up, friends. The Lord is on your side. As you trust in Him. Love to hear from you. Our mailing address, Nightsounds, Wheaton, Illinois, 60189. And until next time we get together, in God's divine providence, Don't give up. You're near the goal. He's with you. Have a good day tomorrow, and until we meet once again, may you have a pleasant and restful good night.